Yeah, so I mean, you mentioned a lot of key names, and you mentioned Fillmore Slim, Ron Newt. We don't have to go too far into Fillmore Slim, but did you have any run-ins with him?
Yeah, I mean,
youngster, what was those interactions?
He was just like the fly cat. When I was a kid, I just knew he was just super.
Old,
he's hella old, but he's like my dad. I think he was a year younger than my dad. So they always came around, and just when he came around, it was just he was a star. Like you could feel that he was a star. Like Sly Stone, Ham Banks used to be married to Sly Stone's wife. I mean, Sly Stone's sister.
Okay.
And so he kind of managed Sly for a long time. So Sly used to come to the ranch, and but he was on drugs. He was kind of like, he was on some.
He was going through it.
On some Bobby Brown level type shit. He was tweaking the shit. But when Fillmore showed up, like, what you would think people would treat Sly like, that's how they treated Fillmore. So Fillmore just had that flair, his whole, like, ever since the beginning. It was, with me knowing, that was around like 35 years ago.
And I was going to say, Legend has it, according to him in interviews that I've seen, he was probably retired by then.
Yeah, he was. No, he was. But he still had it. He still had the flair. He still had everything. And he just had that aura. And now I see how he was such a successful pimp.
Got it.
The women loved him. Everybody loved him. So that's always been in Fillmore.
All right. So, and just to head over to the other Fillmore Slim type of figure, Ron Newt.
Yeah.
That's more family.
That's like all the way fam. Like we was all integrated, all his sons and his daughters and stuff. And,
so
and
he has a legendary family. And I want to just talk a little bit about that. How, what is his son, his successful as sons, but the son now is Jay Valentine. So what was that relationship like with the kids? And
it was, I mean,
the
from
legend
the jump,
of him being on a run and all that, and landing that deal.
It was crazy. I mean, that shit was crazy. I know Jay and Bob is shooting a movie about Pops. So I'm not gonna share too much because they'll be like, Rich, what the hell are you doing? I mean, if you, I can share my vantage points of it.
I was about to say they got the documentary out. So
facts.
I know a lot of it is in there, but
no, but even the documentary though. See, Ron was like, I met Ron as a kid, obviously, but I met him like after he was the super pimp, super street gangster. I met the Joe Jackson level Ron Newt. That when I met him, his kids was bubbling young superstars.
Right?
Okay, it was before they got their deal, but they had dropped the album and they was lit out here before that. That's when they was dancing.
About the Newtrons.
Yeah, the Newtrons. Jay Valentine, Lil Ronnie Jr. and Bob. And Bob Newt. Like they were like popping in the city.
Jay wasn't a part of the group.
Yeah, Jay was the youngest. He was the baby. He was like
the Michael.
Yeah, he was the Michael, exactly. Okay. And he like I think Jay 2 years older than me, so we was real close in age. So that obviously was my connection.
2 years older than you, look 2 years younger.
Yeah, exactly. Black don't crack. Shout out to Auntie Lynn. You know what I mean? That was the matriarch of the family and stuff like that. So, I met that Ron. I met like the music mogul. He was taking all of his hustle, all of his knowledge, all of his everything from the street game and bringing it over to the music game. So that kind of introduced me to music for the first time, right? So I saw that. But I got to sit with him in the living room with my dad for countless hours and hearing all of the stories and I'm like, this shit was wild. You know what I mean? Like, so the documentary was more based around, well, I mean, it was a lot for, his later days, but it was more based around like Prince Diamond. I didn't even know Prince Diamond until he started writing the book. And I was like, your name used to be Prince Diamond? He's like, yeah, that was my name. I'm like, I just know you as OG Ron Newt, like the gangster. Right. You know what I'm saying? So I learned a lot. I seen a lot. He was the first like superstar energy I've ever been around. Like he was just lit. It was like all of the toxic masculinity that they talk about. This dude was really that. Like, you know what I mean? Like what I mean by toxic, it was like he was a hardcore man. He was a man. He was stomped down. He was a gangster. He was a loving father, a loving husband, all of that. Just a genuine dude. You know what I'm trying to say? So it was an honor to be able to be around that kind of energy.